Islam Moors.
Islam.
Face the east, 5 on the left, 2 on the right. Allah, the Father of the universe.
Allah, the Father of the universe.
Father of love.
Father of love.
Truth.
Truth.
Peace. Freedom. And justice.
Justice.
Allah is my protector.
Allah is my protector.
My guide.
My guide.
And my salvation.
My salvation.
By night.
By night.
And by day.
And by day.
Through a holy prophet.
Through our holy prophet.
Noble True Ali.
Noble True Ali.
Islam.
Islam.
Prophet warns all Muslims governors ordered to read proclamation at each meeting. I hereby inform all members that they must end all radical agitating speeches while at work, in their home, or on the streets. We are for peace and not destruction. Stop flashing your cards at Europeans. It causes confusion. Remember, your card is for your salvation. Failure to obey these orders will be of severe consequence. We are for love, truth, peace, freedom, and when these principles are violated, justice must then take its course. Any member or group of members who hold malicious feelings toward the temple or the prophet, or violate the divine covenant of the Moorish movement, will receive their reward from Allah for their unjust deeds. All true Moors will and must obey the law as laid down to them by their prophet. If they lose confidence in their prophet, they should turn in their card and button, cease wearing their turban and fez, and return to the state where I, the prophet, found you. This is a holy and divine movement founded by the prophet Noble True Ali. And if the prophet is not right, the temple is not right. The prophet, therefore, is sending out a divine plea to all Moorish Americans that they do their part in protecting their prophet and the temple. This is an everlasting movement founded by the prophet through the will of Allah to redeem his people from their sinful ways. Noble True Ali. Islam. To be proclaimed at every meeting. Islam. I am glad to know that I have a few faithful Moors among you all, and I desire for them to know the truth and the divine truth. There is a host of jealousy about me and the movement now by the same people of our side of the nation that claimed that it was only a joke and unreal. But now, since they have found out from the government officials and the nations of the earth that this is the only sole foundation that all Asiatics must depend upon for their earthly salvation as American citizens, they are working every scheme that they can to disqualify me so they may take charge of the situation. I have notified all these things to you long ago in the past. It is through the faithful Moors that attribute to the movement and uplifting funds. The ones that paid their divine respect to me and the movement will be remembered. That is why I am calling upon all faithful Moors to increase their faithfulness to me, your prophet, and your divine Moorish movement. I need finance, and I need it badly. Never before have I needed finance so badly as I do at present, so I can shove aside the discord that is facing the nation. It all comes through jealousy because of my fame and nobility. The nations of the world will not recognize the movement without I, the prophet, being head. It has been proven by my works, which I have performed in the past few years. Prophet Noble True Ali. To the members of the Moorish Science Temple of America, Islam, this is the instruction from your Prophet Noble True Ali. Be faithful unto your forefathers' divine and national creed, that you would be blessed for your good deeds that you sow in the flesh. Allah is the one that judges the world, and his judgment is now on, but the weak can comprehend it not. The end of time is drawing near, so says Allah to his divine prophet, I, Noble True Ali. And that's why many hearts have been turned to stone. Many have eyes to see, but cannot see, ears to hear, but cannot hear, lest they would be confounded of their sins. These are trying hours now, dear Moors, and every evil spirit is moving, and they are trying every weak mind to overthrow and drag out the true foundation that has been laid, and to cause confusion in the minds of the ones that do believe. But if you have the true love of Allah and the spirit of your forefathers, you fear not what you hear or see, but would sacrifice the utmost of your very life to protect your movement and your prophet. Watch your enemies, dear Moors. Your enemies are the ones that speak against your prophet and ridicule him to the very lowest, and the ones that speak against your divine and national principles of your temples. Act accordingly, and Allah would bless you for your good work. Peace,
to
your
think
divine prophet, Noble
you're
True
not
Ali.
black, you're African Americans. And then if you're not that, then you're some Native Americans. Liars. We're Moors. What didn't they tell you? Well, they're not telling you. This is 1920 20s, Noble Drew Ali already obliterated all those different labels that we call ourselves and told us who it is that we are. Just go to khalifamedia.com. Go get all the books on there. Especially go get my books on there. There's a lot up there. So go get all of them. Since you want to know something about Moors and all that stuff. But how about stop going to ask black guys? How about start going to ask modern Europeans? How about stop going to ask $5, $10, $20, $1,500 Indians? How about you start asking Moors? Moors are the only ones out here that study and all that stuff. Ain't nobody else studying for real. They're not studying for real. They're play studying. Only Moors actually study. So when you go to khalifamedia.com, you're going to get the book. You are not Negro black colored. It's a little small. There's not even anything long. It's a light, super light, because we already know how our people are with their attention span shortage. We already know how they are. Prophet Noble Drew Ali brought us a concept of man know thyself that was beyond comprehension to the Negro, blacks, and colored people of the early 1900s. If you have never heard of your prophet Noble Drew Ali, it's because you've accepted the labels Negro, black, or colored. One might ask, what did Prophet Noble Drew Ali teach unconscious Moors incorrectly labeled Negro, black, colored? He came to teach his people how to be themselves. One of our covenants as Moors is to uphold the words of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, who came in our image, with our language, in our land, to save us by teaching us to accept the truth about our denationalization and theft of our birthrights. The first lessons we receive coming into this divine and national movement are the Constitution and bylaws of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Act 6 specifically teaches, with us, all members must proclaim their nationality. And we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are part and parcel of this said government and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the governments in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained Noble Drew Ali the Prophet to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites who inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. We're not Negro, black, colored. Since the 20s. How people still calling you fictions 2025? And you're letting them. And they keep making up new fictions and you keep falling for those instead of honoring your foremothers and forefathers. But we already know that everybody's a zombie. We already know everybody's a zombie. And this is for the two in the back who their wires are connected mentally. So they'll be able to figure this stuff out. This is just know somebody lied to you. But there's some easy stuff to get. And if you can't get this, they got you. If you're questioning, well, am I a Moor and all that BS, they got you. Your mind's already gone. This is We Are All Moors, Anur Majid. Drew Ali's personal life turned out not to be as exemplary as one might expect of a prophetic figure who demanded a high degree of moral rectitude from his disciples and members of the temple. But his new religion was sponsored, according to Turner, the first mass religious movement in the history of Islam in America, filled a psychological void, a social vacuum for people who had been uprooted and were rejected by a slave society that continued to hold them in bondage. Despite rivalries, infighting, and harassment by FBI during World War II because of their kinship with the Asiatic and dark races, Muslims were suspected of being allies of the Japanese and therefore a national security threat. Drew Ali and his followers persevered and survived. So convinced were they of their Moroccan heritage and so persistent were they in getting such recognition that in 1986, the Moroccan ambassador to the United States acknowledged the movement's special relationship with Morocco. Why would the Moroccan ambassador of the United States acknowledge the Moors in America? Remember, Morocco's over there, according to people, right? The Moor Science Temple of America, where's that? That's in Morocco over there? Oh no, that's over here, isn't it? So why is this? And then this is also for the whoever's out there who want to play around like they don't want to recognize who the Moors are and we're not real and they're just black guys with red hats on, KFC bucket hats and all that. This is for especially those people. Especially them. Speech of His Excellency Mati Jorio, Ambassador of Morocco, at the Moorish Centennial Celebration honoring Noble Drew Ali, January 11th, 1986. It is a privilege for me and for the other staff members of the Embassy of Morocco to attend this, the Noble Drew Ali Centennial Tribute Dinner. Please let me take this opportunity to express to you our collective appreciation for your kind invitation and my personal appreciation for having been chosen to receive the Ambassador of the Faith Award. I am greatly honored, and it is also a pleasure for us to be in the company of such distinguished guests as those here tonight, and to be taking part in such a joyous celebration. We are happy to bring you all greetings from His Majesty King Hassan II and the people of Morocco. Remember, this is 86. Just keep that in mind. Oh yeah. And also keep in mind that more centennial celebration dinners and all that stuff, that's supposed to be promoted far and wide so every Moor could be in attendance at this thing. There's not supposed to be some little thing that some Moors over here are doing and then they're going to go have them and 6 Moors have a dinner, or them and only the people in their temple only get to partake in this joyous occasion. By now, I have been made well aware of your devotion to strengthening the ties linking the Moorish American community to Morocco. Morocco, for its part, welcomes your interests and your work for a better understanding between us. I would like you to know that your efforts have not gone unnoticed. Your initiative is to be both respected and encouraged. As to us, we in turn have every intention of doing all possible to make our relationship a vibrant and special one. Remember, this is Mati Jorio, and you can go look him up, just so you know he's real. He's not some stuff Moors making up and all that stuff. It's not made up. These people know who the Moors are. And all of them are waiting for our people to stop the BS and start being our ancient foremothers and forefathers again, Moors. Everybody's waiting. Yeah. Now you're over here playing games. Everybody's repping. Everybody's repping for their own. You don't want your own. You want some next stuff.
People are saying that, oh, in Burkina, inside Burkina, you guys don't like your president.
No, it's not true. It's not true. That is how you see people sleeping on the street because of the president.
What do you mean? People sleep on the street because of the president?
The why year people.
Mm-hmm.
There are people who gather every night to the Carrefour roundabout. Yeah. If there is something, they will call the people to come out.
I heard that you all sleep on the street just to protect your president. Is it true?
First of all, it's because of the love they have for the country.
Because of what?
The love.
The love for the country? Okay.
Also, imagine they're sitting here and the president just passed and see them. That's kind of motivate the president. This is why they decided to go out and to be like, oh, if something happened in the country, they have to be alerted so they can react immediately in order to protect the president.
When did this idea begin?
So he said when Ibrahim Traore became president, they knew that the country has enemies.
Wow.
So that's why the population started thinking, what can we do to help our president to make our country develop?
Are they military men?
No.
You're civilian. So does it mean that each and everyone in here is not being paid?
Yeah, they're not.
For the love of your country? For the love of your president?
They are not paid. Some of them are trainers, like sailors.
Okay.
Some of them have their own work. In the day, they work, and at night, they come here.
Today, the people of Burkina Faso have confidence in their government. People are saying that, oh, in Burkina, inside Burkina, you guys.
What are they? That's the neighborhood watch. That's the same neighborhood watch that we used to have back in the day. The brothers on the corner and all that stuff, and they slap you and tell you, what are you doing out here this late and all that. The same neighborhood watch, see somebody looking funny, everybody's going over there and they're going to press who this is, or what are you doing around here, who are you, what's going on. They're doing it for their nation though. They're not doing it for some corner. They're not doing it for some neighborhood. They're doing it for their nation. They're not doing it because they're a color. They're a nation. This is live right now. This is right now. And this is the exact same thing that Noble Drew Ali told these Moors in the 1920s that people still can get today. And now Burkina Faso is doing the exact same thing, saying the exact same language in their own language, what the Moors been saying since the 1920s. And everybody's going to show solidarity with them. Oh, it's a solidarity with free the people and all that BS. But right here in their own land right now, they're not doing what Burkina Faso is doing. You see them raising arms and all that stuff? They ain't got no arms and all that stuff. They put who they want in power because they all knew who they wanted in power because they're a nation. And they realized that, hold on a second, they all they've been doing is putting frauds in the seats of power for our country. Well, that's not going on anymore. We're going to put who we want up there. And they put who they want up there. And then the people now are saying, we're protecting our leader. We're going to be around him 24/7. If we see anything, we're snitching on anybody. Because that's our man up there. This is how they're repping for their nation. Well, you people got a nation? Oh no, the Negro, black, colored, Indian, Negro, colored, all that those aren't nations. All the tribal stuff that people playing around, that's not nations. Well, I lied to you. That's not a nation. Tribe, that's not a nation. That's a tribe. Then you run around claiming you're a tribe. Think you did something. Think you did something. Fez looking like ball tires. Talk about we're a tribe. Playing around. Nationality. Nationhood. Remember, this is the people. They're getting paid? No, we're not getting paid. Getting paid? No, what are we getting paid for? This is we're doing this for our country. Oh, you're playing around? You missed it? Okay, let's go again since you missed it. You're playing game.
I don't like a president. No, it's not true. It's not true. That is how you see people sleeping on the street because of the president. What do you mean? People sleep on the street because of the president? The why year people. Mm-hmm. There are people who gather every night to the Carrefour roundabout. Yeah. If there is something, they will call the people to come out.
Right. These nationals are saying, our guy who we put up there, we're gonna sleep on the street to protect him. Just do shifts. And then you wanna go sleep? All right, yeah, here comes, he's coming. And he's gonna come and he'll stay for 2 hours. Oh, 5 others are coming out here too? All right. Might as well just, you got some dominoes? Might as well play some dominoes since we're out here. Waiting for something to happen. Because, we're not military or anything like that. We're just civilians. We're just civilians. We're just here. Just looking out. If we see anything funny, we're snitching. Not the military's out there protecting. The people who are playing games. It's the same template that Noble Drew presented. It's the same template. Unification of all the temples. Right? How they set up their alliance. Drew Ali said unity of the temples. There's one temple. There's one temple. What the hell do you think he's talking about? One temple is what? You don't think that's a nation? You really think he's talking about just one building for 50 million Moors to go to? Really? What kind of building is this? Do you really think Drew Ali said one temple and he's talking about one building where all the Moors are going to go to? then 80% of the Moors are going to have to stand outside. Are you fried? The one temple is the nation. That's the one temple. You're sitting there thinking he has a building. Oh yeah, there's one building for all the Moors, and we're all going to go to temple number 1. And then temple number 1 is a building that could hold 2,000 people. 50 million Moors showing up. You really think he's talking about some building? Nation. Nation. Nationality. Nation, nationality.
I heard that you all sleep on the street just to protect your president. Is it true?
Okay, first of all, it's because of the love they have for the country.
Because of what?
The love.
The love for the country? Okay.
Because of the love for their country, why they're doing that. What are you doing for your country, Moor? I see what Chinese are doing for theirs. I see what Ukrainians and Russians and all of them are doing for theirs. What are you doing for your cause? What are you doing for your country? Honors to the Moors who are doing for their country. Moorish America. Morocco. Stuff above Mexico, Morocco. All that stuff above Mexico is Morocco. North Africa. All of it. And Juali told him in the 20s, Moroccan Empire. Gave you the jurisdiction. From over there to over here, including Atlantis. That's how old this stuff is. When we talk about Moors and Moorish, we're not talking about some 711 AD people in Spain. We're not talking about that. We say we're Moors. We're talking about since the time of Atlantis, we've been Moors. Been Moors. Known as Moors. Just some Greeks only know who the Moors are. Only Europeans know who the Moors are. No. That's a lie. Because if Europeans know, then everybody bet. For their country. And then these so-called Negro black colored Indians and whatever want to talk about Turtle Islands and all that. They want islands, not continents. They're the founders of civilization, but they want islands. Island is their jurisdiction. Island. They're doing exactly what we're supposed to be doing over here. But what do? Well, we murder all our leaders. All our leaders who came to save us and all that stuff, or we murder them. We don't honor them like how these people honor. Because why? Because they're dealing with nation. They're not dealing with organization and association and all that. They're not dealing with corporation. They're not dealing with that. They're dealing with nation. We want to play corporation, association games. And this is going to be for our people, the people of the... And they're talking about some association. Remember, one temple is a nation. Association, all that stuff is BS. It's the nation first. It's the nation first. Nation. Keep in mind, nation is where it's at. Burkina Faso is showing you right now real time what this is about for the liberation of the people. The exact same thing that Noble Drew Ali was saying in the 1920s. And don't forget, Burkina Faso president guy, he always has on the beret, which that's a fez. It's made of felt and has the nipple and all that on it to stop the BS. Everybody knows where the authority lies with nationality. And majority of people know that the world is the Moroccan Empire. And they're free to be who their ancient foremothers and forefathers was. Not to be abused and violated, and be able to use their own resources. You don't need no European to get permission to use their resources. That's not European land. Oh, but the Negroes over here, oh, they played it. They're from over there. Right? They're from over there, and the guys over there are trying to be them, and they don't get it. Playing around.
African Americans are telling me in my comments, because I'm not from here, I don't have the right to speak about them. I've heard too many times that African Americans believe that we Africans look down upon them when we come to this country, that we think we're better than them. It's false. When we were young in Africa, we worshipped African Americans. Yes. We changed our names to African Americans. My friends in school were called Jim Brown, Black Moses. I was called Superfly.
Okay.
Yes.
Go King.
Blacks in Africa, the barbershop, we go to barbershop until blacks started wearing afro, and we stopped and we started wearing afro.
Really?
We blacks hated our own fabric, the dashiki, until African Americans made it popular in the 70s, and we all started wearing it back. As a case, I had his albums. We watched all the movies. Kool-Aid High, TNT Jackson, A Hell Up in Harlem, Detroit 9000, Truck Turner, you name it. And then we go home and we trying to practice how they speak and all that. That was when we were in Africa. Ask any African who went through the 60s and 70s. They'll tell you, oh, we love them. Maya Angelou moved to Ghana. And she was like a sister. 14 years she lived in Ghana. Her son had an accident and broke his leg and arm in Ghana. African Americans are telling me in my comments, because I'm not from here, I don't have the right to speak about them. Do you know W.E.B. Du Bois? Do you know where he died? Died in Ghana, was buried in Ghana, and Nkrumah built a center for Pan-African studies. He came to Africa, the first black PhD holder from Harvard, W.E.B. He came to Ghana, Africa, to tell us that our best way is to be Pan-Africanist. We listened to him. We didn't tell him, who are you to come from the United States and tell us what to do? There's a guy called Kwame Ture. He was formerly called Stokely Carmichael. He's the one who came up with Black Power, Black Power. You know where he is right now? In Guinea, in Africa, with pistols on his hip. When you go into my comments, African Americans are saying, I don't know anything about them. Hear me. Know you, the African Americans, more than you know yourself. Why? Because I am coming from the place where they brought you from. So when I got here and I looked at you, I see too much of us in you, and that's why we stay away from you. African American.
He named all sellouts. All. Why? Because they played the black game. They played the Negro, colored, African, Pan-African, etc. game. Instead of just downright telling the people that we're Moors. Just tell the people we're Moors. We already know they're not going to. We already know that. That's why this is just for the two in the back. Just for the two in the back. The ones who realize something's up and the wheels are turning. Well, the wheels are turning in order for you to go somewhere. The wheels aren't just turning for no reason. Wheels aren't just spinning. You go nowhere if wheels are just spinning and you're not seeing any movement. Everybody knows who the man is. Everybody knows that it's the Asiatics of America. And they're sitting there waiting for our people. Waiting. Doing everything in their power. You know, make sure they have some stability, just in case we don't make it. Just in case. The Asiatics of America are the ones that, once we get it together, the world will get it together. And the reason why we have such a hard time getting it together is because of this black hex, that we don't realize that it's a hex. We don't realize we curse ourselves for generations with this black stuff. Because we always look at stuff mundane. You know, we don't look at metaphysics and all that stuff. So we're out to lunch. But the two in the back, though, who, you know, you woke up and you realize that you're in something and you tore yourself out the pod and pulled the thing out the tube out your throat and all that. And you're looking around and all you're seeing is pods with beings in them. Right? You're awake now. Now that you know that you're not Negro, black, colored, and that you have a nationality, now what you gonna do? What are you gonna do now? That you just found out, all these years, nobody told you. Guess what? You're not Negro, black, colored. You're a Moor. You ever look at yourself and say, hey, how come I call myself black when I'm brown? How come they don't just call me brown people? Why are they lying? As soon as you start thinking for yourself, not thinking from your indoctrinated leaders or your indoctrinating leaders, you'll figure this stuff out. Honest to all the Moors who figured it out and are living being, the true and living nobles, all the Moors worldwide, honors to you. Honors to all the Moors in the chat. Supreme love to all the Moors in the chat. Honors worldwide. Noble Drew Ali's the man. Honors to the Prophet. And don't forget, June 20th, 21st, we're near Mecca. Look out for myself and Kush Day. You already know we're gonna connect once I get to the rack. You already know. Honors to all the Moors worldwide. Honors to Prophet Noble Drew Ali, who doesn't get enough mention. Honors to Noble Drew Ali. June 20th, June 21st. Month away. Right. Love, Truth, Peace, Freedom, Justice Tour. And again, you know, this is year 3. Been on tour for past 2 years. It's been crazy. Because you're getting to connect with Moors who you only see them on some chat or whatever. So the connecting with Moors is what this is about. Right? Moors getting together. Moors being
we know
around
the truth
each
now
other,
here.
because this is one of the prophecies.
This is the 10 Commandment stone found in Los Lunas, New Mexico. This stone has been deciphered as being the 10 Commandments written in ancient Paleo-Hebrew. Let's keep going. Also, you have Los Lunas petroglyphs in this same area. You have the Haru ideology with the falcon with the wings spread. Also, the swasp was a mound builder symbol. Then you have the Ankh cross. And at the bottom in the center, you have the pyramid. Crazy, right? We know the truth now.
They know so much truth. Why don't they just tell you that those are Moors? If they know so much truth, how come they're not telling you about Noble Drew Ali, who told people in the 1920s, live by the principles, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice? How they know truth and they don't know about Noble Drew Ali? And if you don't know about Noble Drew Ali, but you know about everybody else, and you're celebrating El Hajj, Malik, El Shabazz, Malcolm X, and you're celebrating all these other people, and you don't know about Noble Drew Ali, and nobody told you, and then as soon as you go check, because man knows not by being told, and you look up Noble Drew Ali, and you see some things, some images and stuff like that, and you're asking yourself, hold on a second, how come nobody talks about this? How come they told us about everything else? How come they told us about everybody else? They claim they know truth. They're not even living by the principles of truth because nobody else is telling them live by truth principles. You heard somebody else tell you live by truth principles before? Anyone? Anyone even let you know that truth is a principle? Claims that they know. But if they don't know about Noble Drew Ali, they don't know Jack. And let's show you why. Let's show you why. In the 1920s, Noble Drew Ali had a newspaper called the Moorish Guide. And in the Moorish Guide, there's articles. So one of the articles in the Moorish Guide newspaper, the newspaper that the Moors had in the 1920s, before any of these whoever else is that talking about they got papers now and magazines and whatever like that, and they're promoting their whatever. Before any of them were doing anything, Drew Ali already had it established, going all over the country. The country is Morocco, by the way. Above Mexico, that's Morocco. They never told you that America is Morocco. But that's some other stuff. We're not even going there right now. So he had an article. What shall we call him? So often, our various journalists find trouble in selecting the proper name for the Moorish American. Right there, he's telling you who you are. Right there, off the top. He's not playing any other identity games with you. And then Moorish American, and then when you go into the 101 questionnaire, which is Noble Drew Ali's lessons, that tells you about Moorish American being a nationality. So not only is it established, but this is actually tying you to something. What is it? Tying you to a nation. Because all the other stuff we call ourselves doesn't tie to a nation. Israelite doesn't tie to a nation. Hebrew doesn't tie to a nation. Indian doesn't tie to a nation. Black, colored, Negro, etc. doesn't apply to a nation. Moorish American, because we're here in the Americas, and we're connected to the Moors as a people. Forget all the other BS that we called ourselves. Remember, this is 1920s. Some say Negro. Other will brand him raceman. Still another will call him Afro-American, and then come colored, dark American, coon, shine, the brethren, your folks. It is indeed a hard matter to find something suitable for the various occasions where a title needs to be used. Right? It is indeed a hard matter to find something suitable for the various occasions where a title needs to be used. Is it that these people have no proper name? Because the point is that Negro, colored, dark American, coon, shine, brethren, and all the other stuff that we call ourselves, that's not a proper name. Right? So if we, and we use the Asian persuasion, because you're going to get it easier. Right? In the Asian persuasion, I don't care where in Asia they're from. And of the multitude of different types of Asians, people who are connected to what they would call today the continent of Asia, 0% of them identify as yellow people. 0%. The South American persuasion. We'll do stuff because it's easy. Mexico. Mexico say that they're Mexicans. They don't call themselves brown people. They don't call themselves black people. Just like the Asians don't call themselves yellow people. They have a nationality. They have a proper name. Did they have a national name when first brought to these shores in the early part of the 17th century? So if we're going to the story that these people came from somewhere, right? If they were a slave, then that means they were enslaved. And they didn't do that themselves. Someone had to do that to them. But in order to enslave someone, you have to denationalize them. You have to take away their nationality so you can make them a slave. So if these people are saying that they're slaves from Africa and all that stuff, then they had to be part of a nation before they became a slave. So the question is presented. Did they have a national name? Did they? Did they have a national name? Well, what do they say? What do the slave from Africa, whoever say? They usually say West Africa, right? Majority of the time, they're going to go West Africa is where they're from and all that stuff, right? If they're so West African, why are they staying in America? Where these people enslaved you? Well, because times are hard, and if I could go back, I would go back. All right, even better. If you're so from Africa, West Africa, how come none of these West African people sent for you? How come they never sent some planes over here and all that stuff to bring all you people back since slavery's over? They didn't do that, did they? Oh, they give you an invite. You can come by and get your little citizenship and all that stuff. Right? But that's to do what? Build up their stuff over there, isn't right? No, right? No, all right. If so, what was it? Did not the land from which they were forced have a name? So fine, you want to play BS games about the name? Well, we're black people that were enslaved and all that stuff. Okay, all right, fine. then what's the name of the land where you were taken from then? Now you have to get specific now. Now you can't be doing some vague slaves from Africa. What do you mean slaves from Africa? Every country in Africa had some type of slavery going on in there. Some form. Doesn't matter what's that, whether it was slave the animals, whether it was enslave the whatever. This is why Drew Ali said that every nation suffered slavery. So you can't use slavery as your little crutch because you don't want to know yourself. Because everybody has slavery. And I don't hear them complaining. I don't hear the yellow people from Japan complaining about a nuke got dropped on them. I don't hear them complaining. They're doing rather well, actually. Yeah, nuke dropped on them. All we had was some slavery. Pick some cotton. That's all. We had to pick some cotton. Some people had a nuke dropped on them. And the nuke people figured the stuff out. And now they're good right now. And then these people who are founders of civilization and all that stuff, talking crazy. They're founder of civilization what? Black African didn't do anything for anybody. It's a fiction. The world runs on nationality. That's what the world runs on. This is where Drew Ali's bringing us back to. Which is why they never bring him up. Because if they bring him up, then you realize that all these people have been selling you out by having you live under this name that's not yours. So then anything you get, that's not yours. Because it's not in your name. It's in some foreigner's name. So you're not reaping those rewards. As the Asians, see the Asians, Asian, what did the Asian do? Asian guy figured it out. Oh, so if I come over here, I don't have to call myself Lin Pin Tang. I say Bobby Tang. You think as Bobby, he's still not going to eat chicken fried rice and all that stuff? Let's go back to Drew Ali. It now appears a good idea for those whose duty it is to write for the various journals to find out what the name of the forefathers of these people was. Also, look into the history of the founders of civilization and see who they were and where they stood in the building of the present civilization. Look into the history of the founders of civilization. And then you're going to go check, and you're going to see that, the founders of civilization are all melanated, dark-skinned, nappy-head, big-nosed, stick-lipped people. Those are the founders of civilization. And without us, there would be no civilization today. Probably 2 hours in an up-to-date library would serve to relieve the strain on our men of letters. Probably 2 hours in an up-to-date library. Remember, that's 1920s. In the 1920s, he has this in his newspaper going around all over the country to convince these people that they have a proper name. You're not these fictions that they identify as. We have about 2 hours, right? And then certain people did the work for you, so you don't even have to go to the library. You just have to have the right reference points. Because people are fat, so they don't like to go do stuff. Right? And he's only asking for 2 hours. He's not asking for much. Remember, it now appears a good idea, right? Since you couldn't answer the questions before, right? It now appears a good idea for those whose duty it is to write for the various journals to find out what the national name of the forefathers of these people was, who are today saying that they came from somewhere and their ancestors this and that, and they found this written in stone and whatever, and their conditions suck. They're the founders of civilization, and their conditions aren't what it's supposed to be. Something's off, right? And then the incompetence of the many make it hard for the few. No, but honors to the few for holding on by a fingernail. Doesn't even matter. You just stay holding on because you already know what's up. When the occasion presents itself for a title for these people, the matter of the various names given to these 22 million people with all colors of every race of the globe was an act of European psychology. This idea that Asians don't call themselves yellow, light skinny yellow people. You would take them serious when they start talking? If they start talking about yellow people to you, yellow lives matter and all that stuff, you gonna start taking them serious? Or are you gonna think they're playing dumb? Because look at it, they're Asian. Why are they saying that they're yellow people? That's exactly what you Negroes and coloreds and whoever else is gonna say. African whoever's. But then when it comes to yourself, or you're black. That's an act of European psychology. You 22 million whoever's with all the colors of every race taking up all these fiction names that the European psychologists put out there. So you end up playing yourself, because it's not them. You know, they just put it there. You're the one. You know, it's like the people with the hole in the wall and the big sign says "Don't look," and then people go look and get pie in the face and all that. Right? Where you look? It's European psychology. They played you, and they had their own push the agenda, so that you think that it's cool, it's right for us to be the Africans of the civilization of the whatever. No, it didn't. That's lies. They're full of BS. Right? They found 10 Commandment stones and whatever like that. You know, there's the Hebrews been here. 10 Commandments comes from principles of Ma'at. What are you talking about? 10 Commandments and all this. And you already know that is Egyptians who taught Moses and all that stuff. People talking crazy. What Hebrew what? All this is North African culture. Remember, Egypt's North Africa, don't forget. And don't forget, anytime they talk about North Africa, the Moors are in that conversation. Every time. As soon as they say North Africa, oh yeah, they talk about Moors. Immediately. So when we say Moors, don't think we're leaving out ancient Egypt and Kush and all that. Right? 42 principles of Ma'at. That's where the Bible stuff. When they play little Bible games. When they play their Moses on the hill with the tablets and all that stuff. It's not a tablet. It's not a tablet stone with stuff written on it. That's what it is. That's not what it is. That's the mundane. The tablets are the lessons. The tablets is the medicine. Not the concrete stuff. Stone, granite, obsidian, whatever they used for the tablets. And then God is the one that put his finger and then he wrote and then Moses came down and all that stuff. You didn't realize that Moses is an Egyptian? No, he was taught by the Egyptians. How come his own people didn't teach him? How come? How come he had to go taught by some Egyptians? Why would they send him there? If that's not where it's at, the hell they sending him there to do anything else but to make him them? Because that's where it was at. It was about going to Egypt to learn. Those are the gods of the universe in human form. What do you mean we're not going to go? We could go and learn from them. We're not going to them. Pfft. Make up some stuff, throw him in the river, and hopefully they find him. Hopefully. When he was brought up among the Egyptians, then he ended up being the man. Well, how do you think he became the man? Because he was studying those high sciences from those high priests, Moors. And that was really Thutmoses. Look that Pharaoh, and then you realize that they played you. Because the principles of Ma'at is the 10 Commandments. How about just follow the 10 Commandments? How about that? How about... No, it's too hard. It's too hard. You can't handle the measly 10 Commandments. The measly 10 Commandments you can't handle. So you're definitely not going to be able to handle some 42 laws of Ma'at then. You're not going to be able to handle some laws of Ma'at. Ancientpages.com. And I have not committed sin. I have not committed robbery with violence. I have not stolen. I have not slain men or women. I have not stolen food. I have not swindled offerings. You have not swindled offerings? Isn't telling people lock the door, give me 100 notes, isn't that going in people's pockets? Some people put finance so we could have a bus and then no bus happens. And then everybody's riding around in their tinned windowed whatever. You didn't realize? I have not carried away food. I have not committed adultery. I have not made anyone cry. I have not felt sorrow without reason. For all you grovelers out there who think you're escaping because you got some 10 Commandments. No, it's 42 laws of Ma'at. That's where 10 Commandments came from. So why don't you just follow 42 laws of Ma'at instead of 10 Commandments? Since the foundation is the 42 laws of Ma'at, why are you skipping over stuff? And then they start talking about Moors are condescending and all of this, and they start going in their bag because they don't want to accept the truth. Now remember that they said, we know the truth. We're ready for the truth. No, you're not. No, you're not. People give these people truth, they turn their brain to water and they'll be useless anyways. They're ready for no truth. I'll give you two in pieces. From Noble Drew Ali. That's the only truth you need right now. Everybody else who told you they gave you truth, they were a liar. And they played you. Have you off over there. You're supposed to be on the path of righteousness and all that stuff. You're over there in the bushes. Well, he said that back to Drew Ali. They gave him a name and then defined it as something inferior to theirs. White, they defined as a color of purity. Black, they say, represent everything of evil. The Negro, as they were called in this nation, has no nation to which they might look with pride. The Negro, as they were called in this nation, has no nation that they can trace back 500, 700, 1500, how much ever years you want to go back. How much ever years. You're not tracing black back that far. You're not tracing Negro black that far. You're not tracing colored, African. None of that are you tracing back that far. So why agree to be these things that have no historical connection to anything? It's just a term that we adopted as a reality when it's not a reality. How are you going to tell me you were homeschooled, you went to kindergarten, you went to grade school, you went whatever it is that you did? You can't tell me people are adjectives. No way. If people are adjectives and you've gone through your life really thinking that people are adjectives, wouldn't that warp how your life goes? Wouldn't it be supremely warped? Just for that. We're not talking about all the other BS that we're doing. Because we were taught wrong by people who knew better. Because all these people have PhDs and all that stuff. They went to the top universities and all that stuff, and they're sitting around calling you black, calling you fictions, and then you're going with it because they're the whoever with the PhD. You never went to check. Never stop and look at yourself like, hold on a second, this is brown. I'm not black. That's black. I don't look like that. Oh my! You never, ever. That's all. That European psychology, once it gets hold of you, you're done for. Their history, the Negroes and them people, starts with the close of the Civil War, or more properly, with his being forced to serve someone else. The Negro, black, African, Indian, and all that stuff history starts with them being forced to serve someone else, which that makes you property, which is why when you check the record, you're going to see that the sundry free Moors, just go look up sundry free Moors. And these were Moors that were saying they're not Negro, so you can't use Negro stuff on me. And they won their case. And freed their wives and all that out of slavery. Because they said they were Moors. Because they understood that they're not that. That's some other thing. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. I know that I'm not that. So you can't even deal with me how you deal with that. That thing. And they won. Because they knew that they were not Negroes. Sundry free Moors. And there's more of them too. There's more of them. Once again, their history starts with the close of the Civil War, or more properly, with his being forced to serve someone else. Thus, he is separated from the illustrious history of his forefathers who were the founders of the first civilization of the old world. It's being separated by attaching to these names. We separate ourselves from our forefathers. And our forefathers were the founders of civilizations. Our forefathers were. But not as Negro, black, colored, or anything like that. As soon as you go there, you put yourself right back in slavery. Because those are slave brands. This matter should be looked into with a hope of correcting it. With a hope of correcting it. They try and they try. This is why it's about the chosen few. It's not about the many. Because the many love sleep. They love sleep. The zombie world, they love it. The few that see something's up and know that the only way out is unity. And the only way we're going to have that is through having a nationality. Because if you unify all you want, if there's no nationality, that's just a barbecue. You're not doing anything really. It's about the few, the like-minded, that are going to be the ones to keep forcing change. People only waking up because of the work Moor's been doing. The work that Moors are doing. And again, Jolly said that the order of the day is nationality. The only way the switch is going to go off, the switch you've been waiting. You've been waiting for somebody to flick the light when you're standing right next to the stuff. Complaining about darkness.
What's up, TikTok? What's up, all my peoples? Let me just tell y'all something real quick. One time, I'm gonna tell y'all this, and it's a common sense thing. The so-called Negro, the so-called black man and black woman, the so-called colored folk can never be deported to anywhere else on the planet. Do you understand why? Don't listen to, he said they just want us to suffer. Yeah, they do, but it's for usurpation. It's to steal our birthrights. We're the only people here in America that can't be deported nowhere else. That's because we're home. And when you're home, that means that you are what the land is. You're American. You didn't come from anywhere else. You're not an immigrant like the rest of the population here. Don't believe these people when they tell you you're from Africa. If you want to go back there, yes, we can technically maybe call this place of Mexum extreme West Africa before the great earthquake.
Now, remember, it's a highwayman. If a highwayman knows all this, honors to all the Moors, happy holy day to all the Moors worldwide. The faithful Moors. Lots of treason going on right now. But to all the faithful Moors who honor Noble Drew Ali, put him before everything. Honors, happy holy day. So as soon as you hear a Mexum, you know that's Noble Drew Ali's teachings. Ain't nobody else telling you about no Mexum. So you already know highwayman knows about Drew Ali. So if the highwayman knows about Noble Drew Ali, the badge and all that stuff showing you there, the badge, bay and all that, you know. So he has a job. You know, he's finding something to do. You know, just sitting around and not putting anything on the table for the liberation of our people. You think he's a bait and he's going to be a highwayman doing corruption out there? You think so? You really think so? He knows so much to talk like this. Whoever knows however long he's been a highwayman and all that. Since you're not going to listen to Moors, right? You're going to listen to highwayman when he says pull over, you're pulling over, aren't you? When he says get down on the ground, you're getting down with your new stuff. You're going to lay on the ground. Right? And the Moors of Phoenix are talking about they're making them lay on the ground. 100 degrees outside. Right? They do it. They go down there. Learn your lesson quick. Listen to the authority of the whatever. All right, well, how about we listen to the authority of the whatever now? You going to listen now? Are we? You going to listen now, or are you going to still play around like, nah, the Moors don't know what they're talking about? You still going to play those games?
What's up, TikTok? What's up, all my peoples? Let me just tell y'all something real quick. One time, I'm going to tell y'all this. And it's a common sense thing. The so-called Negro, the so-called black man and black woman, the so-called colored folk can never be deported to anywhere else on the planet. Do you understand why? Don't listen to Dr. Such and Such. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Start with a U. Don't listen to him when he said they just want us to suffer. Yeah, they...
Highwayman telling you, don't listen to Dr. U. Highwayman telling you, don't listen to him. You gonna listen? When they said, get on the ground, nigger, what did you do? What did you do? You went down, right? Well, here's a highwayman. Here's a highwayman right now. Right now. A police right now telling you the same thing Noble Drew Ali's been telling you for 100 years. For 100 years, you heard nothing. Heard nothing. You want to play Negro, black, colored, African, whatever games. All right, fine. You do this thing. You had your fun. You went in the playground, and then you get sand all in your stuff. And now you're complaining. Why are you complaining that you're itchy and all that stuff? You've been told you get out the damn sandbox. Playing around. Heard nothing. All right. Here's a highwayman now. Is he a sovereign citizen? You're gonna call it because he's talking just like Moor's talk. Oh, and he has the bay there and all that. So he's a paper terrorist now, right? That's what you're saying? Are you going to say he's a paper terrorist? Anti-government and all that stuff? Are you going to send letters to his Job telling them, oh no, you can't do that, when he has exemplary record and all that stuff? You can't get rid of him? He paid his dues? Literally paid his dues to be on here right now. I'll tell you, who knows how long he's been a highwayman? He's been had that bay on there. He's probably born bay. Then he just, fell down the rabbit hole watching stuff and found out really what it is. Or he was brought up knowing what it is. Or he figured this out yesterday and he went to his Job and he told them, hey, you got to call me Bay now. I want everything in Bay. And then they said, all right, fine. What are we going to tell you? No. And then you got everything on Bay. Highwayman. Because you're going to recognize this, because every time he says pull the hell over, you're pulling over. You're not even. Right? And then they're going to go murder their brothers in the streets and all that stuff, and then run from them. We're going to run from them, but murder their brothers in the streets. Well, here he is. Here he is telling you. Highwayman. Police. Law enforcement. You still think that we're full of shit, or are you going to get down with the program? You still think Moors don't know what we're talking about? Still? Burkina Faso is not enough? You still need more? Okay, here's Highwayman telling you. You still need more? You really still need more? If you need more, then you're really a zombie. There really is the zombie apocalypse right now. You better wear your turtlenecks. Because they only want the juggler. Then they're going for it. They're going for it. You better have on. You better. Because the vamps are out. Right? The Moor called me today. Right? Just getting into knowledge. And looking out there and just seeing dead people. Just one day just sat there and looked, damn, like there's a lot of dead people. And hit him. Just today. Hit him. You never hit him before. That wow. People really lack knowledge. For people actually really lack knowledge. That's something that has to register in your brain for you to realize to focus on self. And then all other things will be added on to you. Once you focus on self, that's the divine of this national stuff that we're talking about. Being Moors and all that. The divine. You think he's not sure that he's a Moor and all that? You think he's not sure? Remember, he's a highwayman. That's what we want to register. Right? Don't forget, this is the people that they call law enforcement guys and all that. And when they come around, people, get erect and all that stuff, and they want a handshake and eye contact and saluting and all that stuff. Remember.
But it's for usurpation. It's to steal our birthrights. We're the only people here in America that can't be deported nowhere else. That's because we're home. And when you're home, that means that you are what the land is. You're American. You didn't come from anywhere else. You're not an immigrant like the rest of the population here. Don't believe these people when they tell you you're from Africa. If you want to go back there, yes, we can technically maybe call this place some extreme West Africa before the great earthquake.
Yeah. That's just like Pimpin' Ken telling them. And Pimpin' Ken telling them about Noble Drew Ali and their birthrights and that they're Moors and you're not Negro, black colored and all that. With two holes on his arm. Telling them about their nationality and their birthrights. And he has the pimp cup, pimp of the year and all that. He knows about nationality and birthrights. Love, truth, peace, freedom, justice, all that. He knows about all that? Is that all right? You still need more? Still? What more you need than a highwayman telling you? A slave patrol. The slave patrol just ran on the plantation. Yo, hey, you know you're free, right? I don't know. I'm the slave patrol. I just want to let you know that you're free. And then went back in the cruiser, jumped back on the horse, and right? And then, right? And then the slaves on the plantation now are gonna go out there, but still want to act like slaves, running in the bushes and all that stuff. Slave patrol comes out now. They're talking about they're free. How are you free? You look like an N-word. I mean you're free. Then they get their ass beat, and then they talk about, oh, the brothers are working against, they're working with the system. No, it's your dumb ass. That's why. It's because of you, big dummy. Because he already came and told you that you're free. You're in Northwest Africa. This is a highwayman telling you you're in Northwest Africa over here in America. A highwayman telling you this? Moor's been telling you this for 100 years. If a highwayman knows and you don't know, if a pimp knows, a legit 100% pimp knows about your nationality and your birthrights. If BMF and all of them is going to be meeting with Moors and all that stuff, oh, well, some of the things depicted in this film are fiction, and they start talking crazy. When they already told you art imitates life. Stop the dumb stuff. Everybody knows what's up. Everybody knows. The only people who don't know are the big dummies who want to keep playing Negro black color games, don't want to get these messages that ancestors are sending them. A damn highwayman is telling you. If that's not your ancestors putting you on some game. You don't think that's your ancestors putting you on some game? That a highwayman is telling you? It's a highwayman. Police knows that we're Moors. A police with a bay is telling you that you're Moors. You don't think that's the ancestors? No? No. This is just a shot in the dark. Keep playing around. You can keep playing around if you want to. You know, I'm not gonna say don't play around. You know what I mean? Do your thing. But know that everybody knows.
that almost $1 trillion are made every year based on the hidden indigenous history of black people in America. If you didn't know, indigenous people are supposed to be tax exempt according to the U.S. Constitution, 14th Amendment, Section 2, if they're operating within their own jurisdiction. So let's do some numbers. The median income for a black family in America is 48.
Forget numbers. Forget numbers. Let's do Noble Drew Ali. Forget the numbers. The 14th and 15th Amendments brought the North and South in unit, placing the Southerners who were at that time without power with the constitutional body of power. And at that time, 1865, the free national constitutional law that was in force since 1774 declared all men equal and free. And if all men are declared by the free national constitution to be free and equal, since that constitution has never been changed, there is no need for the application of the 14th and the 15th Amendments for the salvation of our people and the citizens. That's 1920s. So how dare they try to convince you 2025 that you need some 14th Amendment Section 2 or Section 8 or Section 55 or whatever BS they made up after the 10 Bill of Rights. The 14th and 15th Amendment is not necessary for your salvation. So why are these sellout leaders, black, Indian, etc. leaders, continuing to send you to the 14th Amendment to prove some whatever? That's not, 14th Amendment has nothing to do with the people. That's not the jurisdiction of the people. Remember, this Noble Drew Ali. There is no need for the application of the 14th and 15th Amendment for the salvation of our people and citizens. Not just our people only, but anybody who wants to take part in the great way of the Moors, where you're free. You can have your own religion and all that stuff. You're not going to be mad because you see your God as how you look. You're not going to be mad at that. Not be mad at that. We're mad. As soon as they move toward 14th Amendment, as soon as they move toward using the Constitution to say it gave you the rights that you have, you're going down the wrong path. Because all that Constitution and treaty and all that talk is for them. They're the ones that have to be held to these obligations. Why? Because they're foreigners. They're not in their own land. So they need rules to govern themselves. That's how it has to be if they're a foreigner. Unless you're following the ways of the people whose land this is. You ever wonder why there's no modern European social services office in China? You never wonder? How come certain people just don't have modern European offices where they're at? Like they actually run their affairs? You ever realize that they keep talking about, you know, the shadow government and the Illuminati and the whoever else, that they're the West, but they call them Europeans, and Europe's not West. So why they giving them West if they're not even? You're saying somewhere from East. Why you saying somewhere from North? Why you bringing West into these people's identity? If you talk about West, you're talking about the indigenous people who would have been here long before some foreigners came here. And all the rules and regulations were to keep those people in check. But then, of course, you know, if we're not governing ourselves and we're being a dumbass, then of course that gives other people the opportunity to be a dumbass too. Because we're the founders of civilization. And whether you like it or not, you're the example. And people are sitting back waiting for you to wake the hell up. But you don't want to wake up. You want to play games. No problem. Play all the games you want. Playing yourself.
The Morocco Moors from Spain sold us out. They're not indigenous. They're not Aboriginal. They're not American Indians. They're not to be trusted.
I've been telling people for years that the Moors from Morocco sold us out.
No, the Moors from Morocco, and your mindset is someplace across the Atlantic Ocean, that's Morocco, you're already done. Because if you didn't let it register yet in your head that over there's a kingdom. Over there is a kingdom. Over there, that's a kingdom. Now saying those people over there sold you out when you really got to be looking at the sellouts over here. Let me tell you about some sellouts from some other place across the Atlantic Ocean. What about the sellouts right here? That, interestingly, none of our people ever want to address these traders around here. Well, who are these traders? Oh, anybody who call you Negro, black, colored, African, Indian, or anything else, that's not a nationality. All those people. But you're never going to address them. You're never going to deal with them. You're going to prop them up, give them awards, give them honors in their treason. In their treason. The story that the majority of people have been told about our people, being brought somewhere and then brought here, and then now we're a slave, and then we had nothing but slavery, and they took our language, they took our but at the same time there's people who look just like them walking around and doing everything that they have to do as civilized people. So that was a caste. That was only certain people were that. Everybody wasn't that. So only certain people were that. Yeah, that was there. Yeah, some people were probably on a boat and came over or whatever, brought from somewhere. Of course. Why not? People navigating these seas for forever. Wherever the water's at, there's somebody with a boat willing to see where this thing goes. Right? we as Moors that are descendants of Moroccans born in America, descendants of Moroccans born in America, doesn't tie us to Morocco over there, the kingdom. Morocco over there, the kingdom, that's a whole separate thing. That has absolutely nothing to do with us. That's its own thing. What you should be looking at is if you have enough nerve to bring up those people, and they only became legit in 1956. And Drew Ali's telling you that this stuff has been around hundreds of thousands of years. Why, if you're melanated, dark-skinned, why are you not going with the older Morocco? Why are you going with these modern people from 1956 as the ones who have some authority over Morocco? Oh, you're probably taught by these sellouts. These Negro, black, colored, etc. traders that all know the truth because they're all Illuminati and Masons and some fraternity, and they're all of that, and they all been given this knowledge, this supreme knowledge, but they're not going there with you. They're going to keep you Negro, black, colored as long as they can. Why is Spain located in North America on older maps? The Spain, as soon as you have the Spain reference, is really Al-Andalus. So it's Al-Andalus in North America, which then has it in the correct place in as far as in the timeline. Because of course, if Spain just came about in 1492, then maps older than 1492 talking about Spain over here. They ain't talking about Spain. Everybody knows the truth. Everybody knows that you can't handle the truth. So Drew Ali said truth and falsehood strangely mixed. You know, and some more say, you know, eat the fish, spit out the bones. Just get rid of the bones. You don't need to grind them up and make powder to sprinkle on something. Don't stop wasting time. You know, because all the old maps, you're gonna see anywhere you go on the map, you're gonna see places from other places too. Which is all going back to that. It's one landmass. It's still one landmass. This globe, flat, whatever it does, it's one landmass. Get this water out of here and stuff is connected. So where we want to be, and then with that mindset, then you have the unity. Which is why it's so hard to see why our people don't get it. The only people who call themselves a color and continents and all that is our people. Everybody else has a nationality. Everyone else has a nationality. Everyone. Not some people or whatever like that. Everyone else has a nationality. The only ones who play color games is our people. And again, if the highwayman is going to tell you that were Moors. And tell you about a maxim. The highwayman's gonna tell you now you're not gonna hear what the highwayman's saying. You definitely have some issues. You definitely have some issues. Happy Holy Day to all the Moors. Honors, 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 honors. Sicilian Moors. Yeah, Moors everywhere. Those Moors ran up in a lot. They weren't playing around. They weren't playing around. There's Moors in everybody. Just look at those dark hair and dark eyes. That's the furthest it went. To the hair and the eyes. Happy Holy Day to all the Moors worldwide.
First Pyramid War was the machinations of Seth, who coveted the powers and territories allotted to Osiris, including the fertile lands of Lower Egypt and the monumental Giza pyramids. This conflict wasn't merely about territorial control, but also about influencing the space activities and the celestial comings and goings of the gods.
It's the return of a new high priest, true Aliyhites, a death chamber Morpheus, y'all some neophytes, red dress Tyrese distracts you, focus is lost, open your mental prisons, free your thoughts, music is potential infinite, far from hypocrites, experiences that's martial, distracted again, you felt for sparkles and twinkles, brainwash all over your minds with commercial jingles, mind force field, y'all think it's lyrics, it's metaphysics, civics, ancestral spirits, not very specific, scientific, seeing spirituality is not acrylic.
Yo, this chronic smoking of microphones and opponents doesn't have me choking, got my lungs wide open, mind's eye spoken, broken, encoded slogans interwoven with loaded meaning, best known to mend and remedy broken treaties, time then time again like the dial of Archimedes, hearts beating to the sound of her drum, seeking to be one with the law's algorithms, found out no need to kowtow or submit, better we be harmonious than subservient. Worship and adulation by all means seem to be traits of a mortal, egotistical being, yet the creator craves not any of these things, not no mystery god, dogma facade, putting us at odds to be separate and apart, cause the closest place to meet our laws in the heart, in the heart, in the heart, in the heart.
Horus, the avenger of Osiris, led the charge against Seth, backed by the technological marvel of the winged disc, crafted by Thoth. The war culminated in Horus's victory, relegating Seth to the fringes of the Egyptian pantheon and securing the divine and earthly realms under Horus's dominion. The aftermath of the First Pyramid War set the stage for the Second Pyramid War, fueled by unresolved disputes and the illegal occupation of strategic territories by the descendants of the Hamitic Canaan. This war was not just a rehash of previous conflicts, but a sophisticated engagement involving advanced weaponry and strategies, showcasing the gods' prowess and their manipulation of natural and technological resources. Ninurta.
I ordered 200 hand-forged knives to my dorm room and built a Wix website to sell them.
Raka! North Star! That way. The North Star's that way. Canaanland moves. Read off we pay every day. Uplift the fee cause we all base. We enforce the law and we obey. Forefathers from before is still today. Reading my Quran and my Torah. Universe universal laws in more ways. Read 4 chapters, receive it 4 ways. Great divine love rules our verse. Before I circle blocks, man, I circle 7s first. You bust the image, but your rhymes hurt. Declare 13 disrespected earth. Love, but it's all in God's plan. Today's mathematics don't judge a man. Unity of life, embodiment of truth. I'm responsible for every deed, cause I seen the proof. No, but true. X, do I have to draw it out for you? Cause nationality is not a color I can use. Jerry Spruce, standing on my square, even without shoes. On the highest authority, spirit of blue. Marcus Coffee, whirlwind ×2. The world's in the wind when the trumpet blew.
Stand up, go into your bathroom. If you got a big floor to ceiling, cut the light on and stand and take a good hard look at yourself. You are the Moorish government, you know, and it took me a long time to get to understand that concept. I self-law am master. If I can govern myself, if I can govern my household, that's what I should be doing. Why should I walk out of my door and then leave everything that I know about myself in the house to go out and adopt something that I have no knowledge thereof? It makes no sense. So we need to stop asking that question. I ask myself this question: if not me, then who?
Death and wisdom, my friends, intelligent creatures, guardians of sacred knowledge, Olmecan features, secrets of the afterlife, manifest the present day. Dirty Moors and scoundrels lose their heads in a pleasant way. Deceit and deception, negative past thoughts, keeps awareness on point. Spirit messages never off. Inner realizations, encounter the higher selves. Next plane existence, explains my consistence. Metaphysic, Kabbalistic, Almaroc mystic, patriot. Americanistic, invoking the ancestors, Saracen cryptic, suns on rotation, flows ecliptic, shatter all illusions, reveal the realistic, sitting in the dark, holding the light marvelous, recognize the artifice, skin so carbonous, hair so antenna, I feel them from Vienna, myriad of virtues, lessons, in reptilian henna, enlightenment seekers won't find it in mainstream, focus as a laser, stay balanced like a beam. Not even a gymnast. Whenever I flip this, as above, so below, get out when within this. Don't think I'm a slave cause I speak in English. Drew Ali the water, watch your flames get extinguished. Living in your higher, lower self is relinquished. Reputation of master teachers, call it distinguished.
Common sense was made before book sense. Canaanland Moors presents Common Sense Quick.
Legendary, bury me in the North Gate Cemetery, February the 4th day. Son of Mary, day ahead of my born day. Independence and law makes it a little of a lost case. With case laws, we break them down like Jericho. Keeping all my lions tamed, I'm Chris Jericho. I'll keep a mask on deck, I'm Rey Mysterio. Fake pandemics and rob base, mix it with rock the hard way. I was in a lost state. Prophets stood me up right, brought me to a lost gate. Cooking like I'm Sharpay, rapping like I'm Denzel. Malcolm X, Deja Vu, Roman J. Israel. Had no but do I lay in plain sight. The people still can't see it, so the snakes still showing up. Stakes still high, so the race still going up. Warriors of the North Gate, we not slowing up. Born in the manger, sworn to be savior. Walk through the valley of the shadows of the death dip in slavery. Looking for light, the book of Genesis. Astral plane interests, invoke the nemesis. Abstract images of past lives kicking in. Danger, running for your life, finishing.
Moorish or Moor, key man or oracle. Using Trinity powers, decipher allegorical. Lost in metaphorical, holy books are metaphysic. Facts slap a dirty Moor or a Drew Ali critic, calling them
Common sense was made before book sense. Canaanland Moors presents common sense, quick.
Legendary, bury me in the North Gate Cemetery, February the 4th day. Son of Mary, day ahead of my born day. Independence and law, make civil of a lost case. With case laws, we break them down like Jericho. Keeping all my lions tamed, I'm Chris Jericho. I'll keep a mask on deck, I'm Rey Mysterio. Fake pandemics announced over the radio. Annoyed with the game, the joys and the pains. I'm raw bass, mix it with rock the hard way. I was in a lost state. Prophets stood me up right, brought me to a lost gate. Cooking like I'm Salt Bay, rapping like I'm Denzel. Malcolm X, Deja Vu, Roman J. Israel. Had no but do I lay in plain sight. The people still can't see it, so the snakes still showing up. Stakes still high, so the race still going up. Warriors of the North Gate, we not slowing up. Born in the manger, sworn to be savior. Walk through the valley of the shadows of the death grip and slavery. Looking for life, the book of Genesis. Astral plane entrances, invoke the nemesis. Abstract images of past lives kicking in. Danger, running for your life, finishing.
Moorish or Moor, key man or oracle. Using Trinity powers, decipher allegorical. Lost in metaphorical, holy books are metaphysic. Facts slap a dirty Moor or a Drew Ali critic. Calling him Thomas or Walter and get your face caved. Or cut like a close shave. Drowned in my brain waves, squashed by heat waves. Activating Kundalini. Abyssinia invaded by Mussolini. Selassie I in exile. Reptile in Genesis, Negus appearing real. All I see is false evidence. VAR feminists, stomped on by elephants. Won't like go prejudice, but want Moorish benefits. When you feel the pull magnetic resonance. Apis horns of the sacred book called Maleficent. Great cosmic mothers, return to blessedness. No pestilence, ace all the testaments. Tap into remembrance, never to forget again. Use energy right, not put spell effects on men. Wandering the earth plane with no they live shades. Keeps you a mental slave as the horizon fades. It's been decades since Christian crusades. Not enough rebellions, too many vigil bouquets. Holding on to the fence, burning on doomsday. War ruled by Mars, it might be on a Tuesday.
Canaanland Moors presents common sense and quick. What we do here is we add some common sense thinking to everyday situations or comments that may arise. Want to give it a try?
This is what it feels like. 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 People running up to me that I don't know. Are you a prince? They ask. Tell them I'm from Morocco. Look me up and down with a smile, not a frown. Turn their brain to water, watch the lower self drown. Wanna touch my antennas and steal my energy. Eyes bulge, telling them I'm always King Edward V. When it comes to facts, with Moors they get beggarly. They ask Morocco where, the farthest northwesterly. With every question asked, I respond cleverly. All dependents won't explain expertly. Going in their wallets, pull out pictures with feathers. Breaking down the ring, then the mason confesses. He's at 33 degrees, now the convo stretches like yoga into esoteric metaphysic lessons. When my people aren't like me, he impresses. When we take Moorish science to the highways and hedges. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like.
They tried to get you to think again. That's the profit. I'm upright, don't need a friend. And you can't stop this. I'ma write with my pen. Violate me and I'ma send Brits again. Remain cautious, cause often they sin again. They send the police out just to silence men. When they bust through your door, you won't breathe again. Nationality will show you how to live again.
This is what it feels like. 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 from Morocco. Look me up and down with a smile, not a frown. Turn their brain to water, watch the lower self drown. Wanna touch my antennas and steal my energy. Eyes bulge, telling them I'm always King Edward V. When it comes to facts, with Moors they get beggarly. They ask Morocco where? The farthest northwesterly. With every question asked, I respond cleverly. All dependents won't explain expertly. Going in their wallet, pull out pictures with feathers, breaking down the ring, then the mason confesses. He's at 33 degrees, now the convo stretches like yoga into esoteric metaphysic lessons. When my people aren't like me, he impresses. When we take Moorish science to the highways and hedges, this is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like.
They tried to get you to think again. That's the profit. I'm upright, don't need a friend. And you can't stop this. I'ma write with my pen. Violate me and I'ma send Brits again. Remain calm, shake us off, then they sin again. They send the police out just to silence men. When they bust through your door, you won't breathe again. Nationality will show you how to live again. It can change the predicament you're living in. You can heal the whole world without medicine. Only truth can make you a better man. Why lie? Cause you got paid to murder men. Then you try to lock them up when they riot in. That's okay, cause for freedom I'm diving in. With no knowledge you come back to die again. Resurrect me not, cause I'd rather be one with Allah.
This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like.